This is a new one. Los Angeles landlord and the barbershop that's trying to fend off homeless folks right outside the barbershop complex stops blasting Baby Shark tune to drive off homeless following complaints. People were complaining, oh, we don't like the Baby Shark tune, but we love the homeless lining the street, taking a crap on the sidewalk, can't get past it, weird people doing weird things at all hours of the night. But the Baby Shark tune, that's gotta go. Let's get into it. Here we go. When are we going to start just making homelessness illegal? How about that? What about that? That's the side that the complaint should be going to, but we're not.
A local barbershop is blasting the infectious children's song Baby Shark on repeat, hoping it will dissuade the homeless from setting up encampments. KTLA's 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗏 is live in downtown LA with the details. Jacqueline, you call it infectious. You could also call it an annoying song as well.
Oh, Eric, I could not agree with you more. My older son loves this song. We hear it on repeat 24/7 at our house. So it's annoying for me at this point, but I can see why kids love this song so much. And Eric, we think we've seen it all working and living in LA. And then we cover this story. So the owner of this barbershop is telling us that he is now playing Baby Shark as his last resort. He has tried so many other options in terms of getting the homeless to stop setting up their encampment near his business. And he says nothing is working. So now he's turned to this.
Oh.
So we said it. We all know this song. It's a kid's favorite, but most of us adults find it a little on the annoying side. As the CEO and founder of 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗧𝗛 Barber Lounge spoke with KTLA explaining why he's playing the song and his ongoing efforts to protect his shop and keep his customers both safe and comfortable. His business is located on East 11th Street here in downtown over in the Fashion District. It's been open for about 5 years and says the homeless issue is getting worse and worse. There's an encampment set up near his shop and he never knows what he's going to find walking into work. At times, it's been drugs, trash, or cracked glass because the homeless are breaking windows. 𝗪𝗡𝗪𝗧𝗛 says he does his best to make sure the area surrounding the barbershop is clean for both his employees and customers, but it's not enough. So that is why he is blasting.
It's a big shop.
He has placed a speaker above his shop pointing directly at a homeless encampment that's blocked next door. Some of his customers hoping the latest move grabs the attention of city officials.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, come up.
Told them to shut it down.
Strategy, figure it out. There has to be something that we can do besides, it just keeps getting exacerbated year after year.
That's not right. Something has to change. The officials, the politicians, someone has to get in control here. This is absurd. You have businesses paying ridiculous amount of taxes. I myself am a taxpayer. Why is there such a huge problem? Why? Why?
Yeah. So many questions, so few answers.
The owner says the police and city officials really haven't done much to help him with this situation. A lot of the nearby businesses have closed for good because they simply can't handle the homeless problem anymore. Now, the reasoning behind the owner playing Baby Shark, he says, for adults, like I mentioned, it's an annoying song. So he's hoping that they find this so annoying, they leave. I did walk around the corner. There are some homeless people set up there. The barbershop supposedly opens in less than 30 minutes from now. So hopefully we can talk to the owner once again. And right now the speaker is not playing Baby Shark. So I'm thinking maybe they only play it during business hours. Reporting live downtown, 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗏, KTLA 5 News.
Yeah, here's another good one. To chase away homeless people, 7-Eleven stores in LA use classical music. What was it? It was Pachelbel's Canon in C. I don't even know if I said that right. My classical music. I know Ted Nugent. I know Led Zeppelin. I know Black Sabbath. I don't know classical music at all. Never really got going. It didn't evolve that direction. Classical music continues all day and all night. It's not coming from some stranger with a violin sitting on the street, but a set of speakers bolted below a glowing 7-Eleven sign. That's one way to handle it, right? One way to handle it. Desperate to get rid of homeless people, some are using prickly plants, fences, and barriers. They've come up with whatever they can to get these, homeless folks who are defecating on the sidewalk, making it so you can't pass, doing crazy stuff, whacking out windows, tagging up the city. This happens in every big urban blue liberal city. It's what they allow. Build it and they will come. Hand out tents, hand out tarps. And, they're going to come. Hand out socks, hand out everything. And they're going to come. And they've come. And California has 1/3 of the homeless population in the United States. So, just check out this guy here. Imagine sleeping, just being so whacked out that you're able to go to sleep with your shoulders jammed up against a concrete deal, and then the concrete just going absolutely right into the backs of your thighs, and you're able to just, pass out and sleep like that. I can barely sleep in a regular bed. You know what I mean? Just all contorted and getting old, and muscles just don't work the way they used to. Imagine sleeping on that. I'd be done for days. I'd be like, where's the ER room? I can't move. But these guys are so literally whacked out that they're able to do that. Now, our next little segment here, this is a 7-Eleven we're going to take a look at. These were the 3 parks down in Portland, Oregon that during the, can kind of blow it back out here. Yeah, here's beautiful Willamette River. You've got views looking back to the east here of, Cascade volcanoes. You got Rainier. You've got St. Helens. You've got Mount Hood. They're literally right there. And my son Brennan and I, we stayed in a hotel right here, and we were able to walk to this park. And there's also a 7-Eleven that we're going to watch in just a second. And since we got tear gas the night before, tear gas by Teddy, and I didn't shy away from the tear gassing, but it was quite painful. Eyes are all bloodshot. Throat gets that's the point of tear gas, is to go away from it. But, I had to get the footage. I had to do it for the gram. Do it for the YouTube. So next morning, my son and I, we went to 7-Eleven, and I'll go from here. Let's watch this little segment. This is 6 years old. Homeless deterrent, 7-Eleven using high-pitched noise.
Widespread homelessness in downtown Portland is affecting some businesses harder than others.
Now, the 7-Eleven along Southwest Taylor and 4th Avenue is now taking matters into their own hands with sound. 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗏 spoke with managers to find out what's going on.
Outside the 7-Eleven in downtown Portland is a hot spot for homeless to camp out.
Like 10 people.
So when I was down in Portland, covering the riots, the mostly peaceful riot, no, they were wildly violent. That was some of the craziest violence I've ever seen. Trying to light a federal building just up over here, on fire. You're like, doing what? And what is Tear Gas Teddy doing? What's the mayor doing? He's out there, having a group hug with the soccer moms this is the greatest thing ever. Black Lives Matter is the greatest thing ever. They're basically embracing a domestic terror organization along with Antifa, who's trying to burn down federal buildings and, county buildings. They'll burn down anything they can. But so we got tear gassed, and the night before, because that's what you do when you're covering, a riot, and a tear gas gets thrown out by the feds because they're trying to disperse people. And so we were going to drive home the next morning. It was like Saturday night when we're there. Saturday morning, my son Brennan and I, we walked down this sidewalk here. And as we turned the corner, and my son's 24, I think, at the time, he's a big kid. He can handle himself. But we turned the corner. There was a homeless dude strewn out in front of both doors. He had crapped his pants and he had urinated all over everything. And he's just sprawled out asleep, whacked out of his mind on whatever. You can see the human excrement. You can see the urine that had gone downhill because the slope went this way. It went to the west. You can see all this. And so I'm looking back at my son, and there's this guy, and we're wondering, does he wake up as we're stepping over him? That would be difficult. So I opened up the door, got my son to walk across, and we went into 7-Eleven and did our business. We bought some stuff for the road trip home, 3-hour drive home. And on our way out, yep, same dude's just right there. And everybody just ignored it. Like, this is normal. This is just totally normal. Now, when you have a situation like that, that is considered a deterrent to business. Yeah. These liberal nut jobs that want to allow this to happen, They're out of their mind. 7-Eleven is no longer at this location, is my understanding. I couldn't see it on the map. It's one of those things where you're like, what is going on here? This was the fentanyl Floyd era. They let anything happen. And now they're trying to reel it back in. Multnomah County, the county that Portland's in, is no longer handing out tents. They're no longer handing out tarps because they recognize, if we hand that stuff out, they're just going to keep living out in the wild. And what are we going to do? They don't know what to do to begin with. So at the time, this 7-Eleven did this.
Like 10 people, like blocking the whole sidewalk.
The storefront at the corner of Southwest Taylor and 4th is littered with trash and needles. Managers at the 7-Eleven tell us it's become a chronic health and safety issue.
They're shooting stuff into their wings, like right sitting outside on the sidewalk, and do nothing about it.
Employees say 911 police response to crime takes too long, and the action from the city is too little.
But there is a lot of incidents where they harass customers, like walking out, like, hey, give me change. They didn't give you change. And you started yelling at them. They'll literally yell at them.
The violence, drug use, theft, and harassment is a hard hit to business. For years, 7-Eleven has played classical music outside through these speakers, trying to deter the homeless from sleeping there overnight.
But it didn't work. There was always homeless people outside.
Now, with new property ownership, the landlords are playing high-pitched sounds, and apparently, it's kind of working.
There are still 1 or 2 people sitting here or sleeping in the night, but instead of 7, 8, 10 people, it's just 1 or 2 people.
We reached out to Mayor Ted Wheeler to get his reaction on how it's gotten to this point. His office said, "We're balancing the right of people to use public spaces with the rights of businesses who..."
Let's look at, sorry to cut off the reporter, but this is Tear Gas Teddy. We're balancing the right of people to use public spaces. And by use public spaces, do you mean defecate, shoot up, do all kinds of drugs, have sex, steal, graffiti, litter? By using public spaces, if you mean that, then call it what it is. We're balancing the right of people to have public sex, to use drugs in public, to publicly litter, to publicly steal from the community, all of those things. If you want to go down that road, that's fine. With the rights of businesses who want to create safe spaces for their customers. This is why Portland has the issues they do. Because of this misguided compassion that these, and just outright lying, people to use public spaces. They're criminals. They belong in jail. You're shooting up a bunch of drugs, you're stealing, you're harassing people. Yeah, wild stuff.
Want to create safe spaces for their customers. The mayor's office says they recognize some areas are more challenging than others. In Portland, 𝗬𝗓𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗕𝗍 KOIN6
Insert head up ass and start talking. What a bunch of nonsense, right? I mean, the stark contrast I have to all that is I go down and visit my parents in Oklahoma City. You don't have any of that. Those guys down there, the cops down there, they will not tolerate that for a second. It's a hard no-go. No, we're not doing that. But in Portland, you got a bunch of liberals who think, just letting people live wherever they want, doing drugs, having sex, just stealing, all, graffiti, all that good stuff. What could go wrong? Well, businesses shut down. Your downtown core has been hollowed out. How are those buildings doing that are being sold at 90% discounts in Portland? How is Big Pink doing? How's Big Pink doing on the market? Right? How's that going? You want to talk about cause and effect? Now, you can't blame it all on the homeless, but it certainly doesn't help when you've got street conditions that are, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. Stepping over a man whacked out of his mind on drugs on your way into 7-Eleven to try and maybe get some water so that your throat doesn't feel like sandpaper because you voluntarily got tear gas the night before, and you hope that the whacked out drug guy doesn't stick a needle in your ass as you're walking past him. You know what I mean? That's not exactly conducive for business, is it? No. But these liberals who allow this to happen, They just think, we're trying to balance it out with people in the public segment. Bunch of nonsense. Bunch of nonsense. It's how you handle this type of issue. In Portland, Seattle, same thing. Seattle's doing a little bit better job, I think, of cleaning things up. They've got a mayor that's just he's just like, we're going to clean out the homelessness. And, Portland does as well now, too, because you've had this huge swing from what we just saw from 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧. We're balancing to, we got to shut this down. This is horrible look for our city. And it is. But you've let the genie out of the bottle. And it's not going to go back in anytime soon because the resources it takes to actually get these people off the street, it's going to be way more than, hey, here you go. Here's a pair of socks. And would you mind, coming in off the streets and living in the shelter for a bit while we get you, into some temporary housing and get you a job? That's not happening. None of that is happening with a large segment of this homeless population. And people know it. And you know what? They're okay with it. Because otherwise, the homeless industrial complex gets shut down. The billions and billions of billions of dollars being funneled into the homeless industrial complex, it goes away because you've solved homelessness. That's weird. So all the tax dollars in these big blue liberal cities that go to homelessness, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do it, but you've chosen to do it, and now you got to live with it. And I think the solutions are a long ways off because you've got to actually draw a hard line in the sand and say, all right, you can't live out in the community in public spaces. You got jail, you got mental institution, you got treatment. Which one do you want to pick? Those are your three options. Shelter. Treatment is shelter. Treatment is housing. Jail is housing. Psych ward is housing. So, those are the things that I think about all the time. And then when I see these stories, I'm like, okay, but the guy playing Baby Shark music, he can't play that to deter people from just living a wild lifestyle. Make that make sense. How is any way, shape, or form, how does that make sense? It doesn't. And that's the bottom line. So, yeah, good stuff. But, for me, podcasts for days, weeks, months, years, possibly decades. We're now at the decades part. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.